So in this segment, we're going to be discussing, I guess, Richard Tice and the Reform Party, in effect, being called Labour enablers. So let's have a listen.
You talk about, hoping the Tories are wiped out, thinking they're going to be wiped out, wanting to help wipe them out. What you're talking about, realistically, we know how the political system works, is a massive Labour landslide that you are going to help deliver.
They're both the same. They're socialism. High tax, big...
Sorry. Oh no, I'm clipping. They're both socialism. Oh my god, I didn't know that. Rishi Sunak is a socialist, guys. Who would have thought that? Tice, who's your source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Madness. Absolute madness. About high tax. Yeah, high tax on middle and lower earners, not on the rich, though. I guess he would say Scandinavian countries are socialist as well, then.
Big state, mass immigration. You cannot grow an economy on that basis. You cannot improve the quality of life, particularly for young people and people on low pay. That's why...
That's dangerous, that is. Talking about young people there, because he's going to try and go for that populist angle and try and say that we're out here to help, younger people as well, people whose work doesn't pay. That's what UKIP tried to do as well. It's not just trying to appeal to older people. This is right-wing populism. This is dangerous stuff here.
Our economic plan to start income tax at £20,000, not £12,500, that's the greatest advantage and boost for people on low pay and for young people. And we're the only party with a plan to get to zero waiting lists.
That's, that honestly, that policy, whether it's doable or not, that would help a lot of working people out in terms of where they pay tax. A lot of people, especially younger people who are not entry-level salaries on around the 20K mark, that would essentially stop them paying tax, which, again, you got to ask the question, how would you pay for that? But that's what I mean. Like, right-wing populists are the most dangerous kinds of politicians, because at the end of the day, they know people in the centre are more likely to back them than they would to back left-wing candidates. And that's what makes them incredibly dangerous.
Radical, these are the bold reforms, Ben, that we think the country wants to hear about.
You're a straight-talking sort of man. You'd accept, wouldn't you, that what you're doing and what you've done today is a massive boost for Keir Starmer?
I think it's boost. What it is, it's a boost for reform. It's a boost for the millions of people who are saying, I don't know what to do. I feel politically homeless. Oh, who are these people? Oh, I've heard of Nigel. I've heard of reform.
I hear what you're saying. Of course,
that's what we're doing.
I hear what you're saying.
And the real winner are the young, the least well off, and those who say...
That's what I mean here, guys. This is what I mean. Like, that's what they'll do. They'll say, immigrants are the problem. What we're going to do is we're going to stop you guys paying tax. We're going to lift you out of the tax threshold, which will increase how much money you're going to earn. We're going to reduce immigration, and that's going to enable you to buy more houses and things like that. And that's the angle they're going to go for. And that's what makes right-wing populists the most dangerous characters you will have to deal with, because they will push not only just racism, like the Conservative Party do, not only just culture wars, like the Conservative Party do, they will try and offer solutions to people, especially younger people. And they will try and get voters for a lifetime. That's their goal.
The other winner from this is Labour, because you take more votes from the Conservatives than you do Labour. Keir Starmer will be responding to today's news by rubbing his hands in glee, and Rishi Sunak will have his head in his hands. That's the reality. You must accept that.
If we didn't exist, the truth is Labour would still win a thumping great majority. And what really matters...
And I think that's true. I think if they didn't exist, the argument of they're taking votes away from the Conservative Party, which is partially true, but chances are those Conservative voters probably would have stayed at home. When you look at certain constituencies where the Lib Dems won, I think it's Chesham and Amersham, where the reason the Lib Dems won wasn't just because Conservative voters swung for the Lib Dems, it's because a lot of Conservative voters stayed home, and that's the way in there. That's their way in, essentially saying we're not helping Labour. All we're doing is looking at people who don't want to vote Conservative anymore and giving them an option. That's the angle he's going to take instead of staying home. So he is, in effect, enabling Labour to win, to get a bigger majority, but he's playing the longer game here. He's playing the longer game, which is if that Labour government don't get much done in 5 years, he's going to come through with these policies, which are probably unaffordable, let's be honest, unless government borrowing significantly goes up. I would have asked him how he's going to pay for the changes to income tax, because that's a big loss for the Exchequer, because, again, a lot of people are in that threshold for paying tax. But again, if you think about it, and if you ask yourselves, if you do live in England, depending on how much you make, if you were taken out of that tax threshold, how much more would you make? That's the thing that's going to be in a lot of people's heads here. That kind of promise. And that's a powerful promise. It's a powerful promise. But this is why right-wing populists are more dangerous than the average conservative, because they know how to weaponize culture wars and try and use it. They offer solutions. They agree with you there's a problem. Calling Rishi Sunak high tax and saying, when the Conservatives say we want to lower tax and whatever, but we can't, this is the guy who will say, no, we will lower tax. The problem is he's going to run into it. His reality is going to bite him, because at the end of the day, somehow they're going to have to pay for it, and I don't know how they're going to do it. But these are the people you should be the most careful of when it comes to politics. The right-wing populist, the most dangerous kind of politician. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Support the channel on Patreon if you can, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.